Hello, dear students. Welcome to another exciting lesson about learning English. I'm so glad you're here today because you've already taken the first step to improve your English skills. Learning a new language opens many doors to new opportunities, and I'm here to help you through that door. Why is learning English important? English is spoken all over the world. It's the language of communication, business, education, and entertainment. Whether you want to travel, get a good job, study abroad, or enjoy your favorite movies and songs, knowing English will help you with all of that. It connects people from different cultures, allowing you to talk to millions who don't speak your native language. Learning a new language can feel challenging. You might have tried before and found it hard, or maybe you don't know where to start. That's okay. The good news is there are many ways to learn English, and today I will share an easy method you can follow. The first and most important step is listening. Think about how we all learned our native language as babies. We listened to our parents and others before we started speaking. Listening helps you get used to the sounds and rhythm of English. It trains your brain to recognize words and phrases, even if you don't understand their meaning at first. When you listen to English regularly, your understanding will improve naturally. You don't have to worry about understanding every word. The goal is to expose yourself to the language as much as possible. There are many resources available. You can listen to English podcasts anywhere while walking, cooking, or relaxing. Some podcasts are made for English learners with simple language. Music is also a fun way to learn. Find songs you like and sing along, even if you don't know all the words. Songs often repeat phrases, making them easier to remember. Watching simple YouTube videos or English TV shows and movies with subtitles helps you hear how words are pronounced and see body language in communication. Start by setting aside 10 or 15 minutes every day to listen to something in English. It can be a podcast, a song, or a video. Make it a habit, even if it's just in the background while you do other things. Remember, it's okay if you don't understand everything at first. Now that you're listening regularly, it's time to focus on speaking. Speaking is very important, but it can feel scary. You might worry about making mistakes, but remember that making mistakes is part of learning. The more you practice speaking, the more confident you will become. If you have friends or family who know English, practice with them. Start with simple greetings or talking about your day. You can also talk to yourself. It might feel strange, but it's a great way to practice. Describe what you're doing or have imaginary conversations. Use apps to connect with people around the world who want to practice English. You can help each other by learning your native languages together. If there are any words or phrases you could improve, don't be too hard on yourself. Remember, the goal is to improve with practice, not to be perfect from the start. One thing I want to emphasize is that speaking English every day, even for a few minutes, makes a huge difference. The more you speak, the more natural it will feel. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. You don't need to know all the grammar rules or have a huge vocabulary. Even if you can only say a few words or short sentences, that's okay. Speak as much as you can with the knowledge you have right now, and you'll keep getting better. Another helpful tip is to practice speaking in front of a mirror. This may sound funny, but it really works. When you speak in front of a mirror, you can see how your mouth moves, which helps build your confidence. Imagine you're talking to someone else and practice simple conversations or introducing yourself. It's a great way to get comfortable with speaking, especially if you're shy or nervous about talking to others. The truth is, the more you practice speaking, the more comfortable you'll become with making mistakes, and the faster you'll learn from them. Speaking isn't just about getting every word right, it's about communicating your ideas. The more you do it, the more fluent you will become. So here's my challenge to you: try to speak English every day, even if it's only for a few minutes. Practice with your friends, family, or by yourself. Use language exchange apps, record yourself, or speak in front of the mirror. The important thing is to practice, practice, and practice some more. Remember, every word you speak is a step closer to fluency, and soon you'll find yourself speaking English with more ease and confidence than you ever thought possible. Now that you've started practicing your listening and speaking, let's move on to another essential part of learning English: Reading is a powerful tool for improving your language skills. It helps you learn new words, shows you how sentences are structured, and helps you understand grammar and how ideas flow in English. When you read regularly, you start to understand the language better, making it easier to form your own sentences when you speak and write. One of the best things about reading is that it allows you to see words in context. This means you not only learn new vocabulary but also see how those words are used in real-life situations. For example, if you come across a word you don't know, by reading the sentences around it, you can often guess its meaning. This is much more effective than trying to memorize long lists of words without any context. But where do you start? I know reading can feel challenging at first, especially if you're just beginning your English journey. That's why it's important to start with simple texts that are easy to understand. You don't need to jump into reading complicated novels or textbooks right away. Begin with something small and manageable, like simple English books, short stories, or even children's books. These are written with simple language and are perfect for beginners because they focus on everyday vocabulary and common sentence structures. For example, you can start with short stories or graded readers. Graded readers are books designed for English learners and come in different levels, from beginner to advanced, so you can choose the one that suits you best. These books often use easy vocabulary and shorter sentences, making them easier to follow. They also focus on familiar topics, which helps you understand the overall meaning of the story. If you enjoy reading online, there are many websites where you can find simple English stories. Some even have audio versions, so you can listen while you read. This is a great way to improve both your listening and reading skills at the same time. You can also find blogs or articles on topics that interest you, whether it's sports, technology, fashion, or travel. The key is to choose something you enjoy, so it doesn't feel like hard work. As you continue to read, you'll notice your vocabulary growing, and you'll start recognizing the same words in different contexts. This repetition helps words stick in your memory. You'll also see how sentences are put together, making it easier for you to form your own sentences when you speak or write. The more you read, the more natural English will feel to you. One recommendation is to keep a dictionary with you while you read. If you come across a word you don't know, try to guess its meaning from the context first. If you're still unsure, look it up in the dictionary. Don't hesitate to take your time with new words. This will help you build your vocabulary bit by bit. You can even write down new words in a notebook and review them later. The more you see a word, the more likely you are to remember it. Another great tip is to read the same text more than once. On your first read, focus on understanding the general meaning. Don't worry about every single word. Then, on your second or third read, pay more attention to details like new vocabulary, grammar structures, and sentence patterns. By reading the same text multiple times, you'll start to feel more confident in your understanding of the language. Every day, writing is a fantastic way to practice everything you've been learning. It helps you use new vocabulary, try different grammar structures, and organize your thoughts in English. While listening and speaking help you get comfortable with the sounds of English, writing allows you to take those words and ideas and put them down on paper or on a screen. This solidifies everything you've learned. Many students hesitate to write because they worry about making mistakes. But let me tell you, it's okay to make mistakes. In fact, mistakes are a crucial part of the learning process. Every time you write something in English, whether it's a sentence or a paragraph, you're getting valuable practice. Over time, those small mistakes will become learning moments, and you'll see improvement in both your writing and your overall understanding of the language. Writing in English every day is one of the best ways to make steady progress. The more you write, the better you'll get at forming sentences, using grammar, and expressing your ideas clearly. You don't have to write long essays or complicated paragraphs at first. Start simple and build from there. The key is to make writing a regular part of your day, just like listening and speaking. So how can you start writing in English? The easiest way is to write about things you already know. For example, You can write about your day. This is a great exercise because you don't need to look for special topics. Just write about what happened to you today. Did you go to work or school? Did you eat something delicious? Did you learn something new? Writing about your daily activities helps you practice common words and phrases, and it's a natural way to use the language you're learning. Another option is to write about your hobbies. Do you like sports, cooking, or reading? Write a few sentences about what you enjoy doing in your free time. You can describe how you play your favorite sport, the steps to cook a simple meal, or your thoughts on a book you recently read. Writing about something you're passionate about makes the process more enjoyable and helps you stay motivated. Plus, when you write about something familiar, it's easier to find the right words and expressions. At first, focus on writing simple sentences. Don't worry about trying to write long or complicated paragraphs. Start with short, clear sentences that you can handle easily. For example, instead of trying to write an entire story, start with a few sentences about your morning. I woke up at 7 a.m. I had breakfast with my family. Then I went to work. These simple sentences are the foundation of your writing practice. Once you feel comfortable with shorter sentences, you can gradually make them longer by adding more details. For example, instead of saying, I went to work, you could write, I went to work by bus, and on the way, I listened to my favorite English podcast. This way, you're expanding your sentences bit by bit, adding more information and using new vocabulary and grammar structures. Over time, you'll notice that your sentences are getting longer and more complex without even trying too hard. If you're unsure about how to begin, a great idea is to keep a journal. A journal is a personal space where you can write freely without worrying about mistakes. In your journal, you can write about your thoughts, experiences, and goals, anything that comes to mind. You don't need to write a lot every day. Even a few sentences can make a big difference. The important thing is that you're practicing your writing skills regularly. And remember, this is your journal, so there's no need to show it to anyone. It's just for you to track your progress and practice writing in a relaxed way. Another helpful tip is to use a dictionary or an online translator when you come across a word you don't know. If you're writing about your day and can't remember a word, take a moment to look it up. This way, you're actively expanding your vocabulary while practicing writing. The more you look up new words and use them in your writing, the more they will become part of your active vocabulary. This is how you turn passive knowledge of things you understand but don't use into active skills. In addition to writing about your day or hobbies, you can also try other fun writing exercises. For example, you could write a short letter to a friend or a family member, even if you don't plan to send it. You could describe your favorite place, write a short story, or explain how to do something step by step, like making tea or fixing something around the house. These types of writing exercises help you practice different kinds of language, from descriptions to instructions, and make the process more engaging. As with the other steps, consistency is key. Try to write something in English every day, even if it's just a few sentences. The more you write, the more confident you'll become. Over time, you'll notice that writing in English feels more natural, and you make fewer mistakes. You might even surprise yourself with how much you've improved. Learning English is like a journey, and small, consistent practice will help you grow your skills over time. There are many ways to include English in your daily life. You don't always have to sit down for formal study. You can listen to an English podcast while you cook or clean, read a short article during your break, or write a few sentences about your day before bed. These small actions may seem simple, but they are incredibly powerful because they keep your brain engaged with the language. Even on busy days, finding just a few minutes to practice English can make a big difference in the long run. Now, let's talk about patience. Learning English, like any skill, takes time. Sometimes it might feel like you're not making progress, or you may struggle with tricky grammar rules or unfamiliar vocabulary. This is completely normal, and every learner experiences it. What's important is not to give up. Patience is your best friend in language learning. You might not see improvement right away, but trust that you are improving, even if you don't notice it. Think of it like climbing a mountain. When you're near the ground, it's easy to see how far you've come, but as you climb higher, it can feel harder to notice your progress. Remember, even if the climb feels tough, every step is bringing you closer to the top. You're still making progress, even when it feels slow. One of the biggest mistakes learners make is thinking they need to be perfect right away. Making mistakes is a natural part of learning, and it's how we grow. When you face challenges, like understanding fast conversations or writing longer sentences, don't get discouraged. Remind yourself that every challenge is an opportunity to improve. Be patient with yourself, and trust that the more you practice, the easier it will become. There will be days when learning English feels hard. Maybe you'll struggle to remember a word or feel nervous about speaking. On those days, it's easy to think, I'm never going to get better, or I'm just not good at this. But remember, everyone feels this way sometimes, even people who are fluent in English. The key is to keep going, even when it's difficult. The more patient you are with yourself, the more you will enjoy the learning process and the more progress you will make. I understand that learning a new language can feel overwhelming. There's so much to learn, and it can seem like a long journey. But remember, you don't have to do everything at once. Break it down into small, manageable steps. Focus on one thing at a time, whether it's listening, speaking, reading, or writing. Celebrate your small victories, like learning a new word, understanding a sentence, or speaking a little more confidently. Each of these small wins adds up, and soon you'll look back and see how far you've come. Another important thing to keep in mind is that everyone's learning journey is different. Some people might learn faster while others take more time, and that's okay. The only person you should compare yourself to is yourself. Focus on your own progress, and don't worry about how quickly others are learning. Everyone moves at their own pace, and what matters most is that you're moving forward, no matter how slow or fast that progress may be. Here's one last piece of advice: enjoy the journey. Learning English doesn't have to be stressful or frustrating. It's an opportunity to explore new ideas, connect with people from around the world, and open up new possibilities for yourself. Yes, there will be challenges, but there will also be moments of excitement and accomplishment. Celebrate those moments, and remember that every bit of practice is getting you closer to your goal. So, stay consistent. Practice a little every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Be patient with yourself, and don't give up when things feel hard. Progress takes time, but if you keep going, you will improve. You've already come this far, and you have everything it takes to continue. Trust yourself, stay committed, and enjoy the process. With consistency and patience, you'll reach your English learning goals before you know it. As we come to the end of this lesson, I want to remind you of one important thing. Learning English is a journey. Like any journey, it has its ups and downs, its moments of excitement, and its challenges. Some days will feel easy, while on others, it may seem like you're not making any progress at all. But here's the truth: every single step you take, no matter how small, is a step forward. Whether you're learning new words, improving your listening, practicing speaking, or understanding a sentence better than yesterday, it all counts. You are moving forward, and that's what matters most. Think of learning English like climbing a mountain. At the beginning, when you look up, the top seems far away, and you might wonder if you'll ever get there. But with every step you take and every new word you learn, you're climbing higher. So as you continue on this journey, stay positive, stay consistent, and most importantly, enjoy the process. You have the ability, the tools, and the mindset to succeed. Just remember, you can do it. Keep going, keep learning, and I promise you the results will come. You're already on the path to success, and I can't wait to see how far you'll go. Good luck, and don't forget, learning English is not just about reaching a destination, it's about enjoying the journey along the way.